The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Wednesday in the Riv, and we got a really big show today because we had the state of propaganda in the City of Fall River speech. And but before we do, I think we did say we would just touch a little bit on Carol Fiola, because she did get up at that town hall meeting and say that market rate housing has nothing to do with the increases in rent, which is absurd. We'll do that again in depth in a little bit, but of course she has a vested interest. She passed the laws. She's a realtor. Her husband is involved in market rate housing, and again they have it. But then it was buttressed. But then let's touch a little bit on the council meeting. I know that you did submit something during that $50,000 gift given to the food kitchen. And there was a little repartee at that meeting about why don't we spread it around. Good point. Why don't we spread it around? Because I remember a few years ago, and you remember too, because you were going down there, the Veterans of Foreign Wars on Bedford Street was virtually bankrupt. They couldn't pay their rent. They couldn't pay the lighting bill, and it's been there forever. They had to sell fish and chips on Friday. I was going down there every Friday and buying fish and chips.
And it was good fish and chips.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. Yeah, you're right. It was pretty good. And then they had clams for a while and stuff like that. But why not spread it around? We have a whole bunch of veterans organizations. We got the American Legion. We got the VFW. We got a whole bunch of things. But no, the reality is, I think you said this was because it's, again, like everything else that happens in this city, special people get.
Yeah, well, the thing that bothered me the most about this was we've heard, and I know you've heard it, I've heard it, numerous people in the community have heard it, that the Veterans Kitchen was going to buy the Corky Row Club. Initially, it was the War Council was going to buy the Corky Row Club because the Veterans Kitchen operated under their tax-exempt status. Now they're supposedly a 501c3, which I find interesting that they got it so fast. But they have since turned around and they said they needed $50,000, according to Laura Washington, which I'm beginning to not believe a lot of that she says. Beginning. They're going to use that money to buy supplies and food, and they operate solely on donations. And she was claiming they get 5-star meals. Do you want to know what those 5-star meals are?
Oh, I can't imagine.
Here's their 5-star meals, and you're going to get a kick out of this. 5-star meals. From the beginning of this year: breakfast for lunch, bacon cheeseburger and fries, shepherd pie, chili mac and cheese, Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. Keep in mind, the vets love this type of food, but by no means a 5-star meal. All the food has been donated. Please keep in mind that when COVID hit, the city of Fall River was involved with providing food or dollars to the Veterans Kitchen.
Yeah, well, look, it's not 5-star, but she does have she does have a great talent for embellishment.
Yes, no question about it.
And she's also got a great talent, which disturbs me, of wrapping everything in this cloak of guilting everybody. Oh, this is for the kids. This is for the veterans. It's a whole bunch of veterans organizations. But when you look beneath the surface, most of this stuff is going to very special people.
Agreed.
And those are allegations, but they're pretty solid because we know the people who are involved in some of these things.
Right.
And that's what bothers me. But also the fact that they throw around money like it's kind of like Joe Biden. Just keep printing it Nobody cares about it. But we'll get into that when we segue into
The interesting thing about it last night was, because you said there's many veterans organizations, Linda Pereira chimed in, and she said very clearly that every veterans organization received an equal amount of money.
And that's a lie. Because why was the Bedford Street VFW going under a couple of years ago?
Right.
Did they receive anything? I never even heard the VFW on Bedford Street being discussed at the city council. And if it was, please let us know, and I will say, okay, it was. But I never heard the VFW on Bedford Street ever.
Well, allegedly they received money for their roof, and then the statement was made by a city councilor. I don't even know if they built the roof, if they fixed the roof.
And who was that city councilor?
Laura Washington.
Oh yeah, well she's very good at being attacking other people. I know that when Michelle asked the question, they got into it a little bit. But
the two of them went back and forth over it too.
But Michelle just disengaged because, like I say, she wraps everything in like, oh, you don't care. It's kind of like Martha's Vineyard saying we love the illegals until they get there.
Right.
When they move in her backyard, she's not going to be real happy. The fact is, this is the politics. So off of that and on to the state of the city, and I see the big headline: tax relief, police funding, housing. Okay, but we were lucky today. We had a picture. One of our people got a picture of Paul Coogan preparing for the State of the City address. There he is, looking through his virtual reality glasses, because this is what he sees. He's looking at him. It's kind of like, remember that Bette Midler song, From a Distance?
Yep.
You don't see any problems from a distance. Mm-hmm. The world looks peaceful, even though there's war raging when you're up in the sky. That's where the rich people live. He's looking at it through his rich people virtual reality glasses, and then he came up with this. Now, I thought it was disgusting. He didn't mention crime once.
No, he did not.
He did not mention underperforming schools.
No, he did not.
He did not mention the drug problems in this city.
No, he did not.
He did not. Oh, he did today on Channel 12 mention homeless, but that was only because he knew that people were going to start talking about it.
Right.
And they got a federal grant. But even that shows what Paul does all the time. He talks a lot, but he doesn't do anything. I was really surprised today when I saw him in front of a microphone at City Hall giving that thing about the homeless. But what he said was, we're going to help them, we're going to do this, we're going to give them shower, but we hired a consultant. Well, what are we going to have, a caucus about this? I don't know, because they're going to hire a consultant. What do you need a consultant for? I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel. We know what homeless people need. They're doing it all over the country. But you're hiring a consultant and figuring out how you can give all your friends jobs in the process of using this federal money. We know that. Just like his tax relief. Didn't Paul Coogan promise tax relief twice?
Yep.
Didn't he promise when he got into office first to return $6 million to the taxpayer?
Yes, he did.
Has he done that?
No, he has not.
Okay. So now we're supposed to expect him, when he's running for his third term and he knows he's actually got opposition and the people are not happy, believing that he is going to help the regular people of Fall. We're going to get tax relief.
Well, here's what he said about that, okay? He says, however, he said that he's going to have the city council petition for a home rule petition to allow the use of busing money, transportation money for the school department to count towards net school spending. The problem with that is that net school spending is state mandated. It is not mandated in our charter. So a home rule petition may not be appropriate. But, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know.
It may not be legal. Although a home rule petition fundamentally is created to just bypass laws.
Exactly.
And make it okay for that, so that, and who always uses home rule petitions? Politicians.
Right.
To get what they want.
Now, each city and town's contribution to education is mandated by law, but our required contribution does not take into consideration the millions of dollars that we pay for school transportation or payments to the school bonds, like those for Diamond and Durfee. However, this petition may take time, and residents need financial relief now. No kidding.
No, we needed it when you got in, Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you promised it when you got in. I just got to get that. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you don't.
Because this is nothing more than political rhetoric.
Yes, it is. Yes,
and
it
we
is.
know that. From a guy who has a record of never delivering on anything.
Right.
Except for the rich people.
Right. Now, that is why we are announcing today that for the second year in a row, we will use a portion of our ARPA lost revenue funding to cut this year's Durfee High School contribution in half, which will provide a bit of relief to our taxpayers. I don't understand how that's lost revenue, because that's a tax. It's assessed on the people. They didn't lose any money. So is this abuse of the ARPA funds? I wonder.
Well, look, listen. You're using somebody else's money to reduce the debt temporarily, because next year we got the debt. It
Right.
comes back.
That's right.
So, you know, this is short term, kick the can down the road. I'm running for re-election, manipulation of numbers. Because now he talks about, let's talk about housing. I did a little research yesterday. He's talked about, we have 23 units of affordable housing now, and first he talked about that absurd thing about public housing. We're gonna moving forward or whatever.
Moving arm.
Moving arm.
Yep.
Oh, we're gonna move our arms.
No, that's the name of the project,
No,
I
I'm
guess.
saying, yeah. I don't. But listen, we're gonna relocate people. That's a euphemism for throwing people out. Number one, they're not gonna get thrown out because it took them 8 years to get in.
Right.
They have low income. Okay, and you're going to move those people out to where? They can't go out into the housing market because the rents have doubled in Fall River. So these people got in here because they have low income. So you're going to displace these people and stick other people in of low income. Where are these people going to go? You're going to give them some of the tents that you confiscated from the other homeless people? Because that number one, on its face is absurd. It shows that myopic, let's say this because it sounds good, political BS, because this is what it is. And then he talks about affordable housing, because again, he melded public housing with affordable housing. And then he said we got 23 units now, and we're going to get another 40. So last time I checked, 23 and 40 is 63. Well, they're building a 64-unit facility in Somerset.
Correct.
So now this is how this here you go. You see the glasses? That's what happens when you put those glasses on. You can you're down in a rabbit hole, the dysfunctional rabbit hole of politicians trying to spin the fact that he's doing nothing. He didn't walk up to the mic to talk about it. He didn't talk about what he just talked about at the town hall because there were people there. Even the guy from New Bedford that got displaced was
Right.
there. He didn't talk about it. He refused because it's not a plan. You know why it's not a plan? For all you harp seals, did you notice the harp seals?
Yes, I did.
The only time they clapped when they talked about the rail.
Yes.
He talked about affordable housing. It was virtually dead silent. They know it's BS. It's BS. 63 units we're going to have in the city of Fall River. Somerset has 18,000 and very low number.
Yep.
Barely over 18,000 people. And I did this yesterday, so these facts are right off the press. They got 18,000 people. We got what, 90? So we're like 5 times larger.
Yep.
You know, we're like almost 5 times larger, 4.5 to 5 times larger. They also have a household income of $90,000 a year. Ours is $49,000. So again, about half of what they've got, right? They've got a 4% poverty rate. We have a 19% poverty rate, which, by the way, has not gone down since Paul Coogan got into office. So you're going to tell me that this is an adequate plan to deal with affordable housing when we're going to have one less unit than a town that's 1/5 our size, has 1/5 the amount of people in poverty, and has 1/5 the population. Really? Do you really believe everybody is that stupid? You even put that, I guess you had to put something in, because you embarrassed yourself by not commenting at the town hall. But you had to put something in. But that is about as that is like throwing a drop of water to a man dying of thirst. We got 90,000 people in this city, and most of them are medium to low income. And the rents have doubled. They got 18,000 people in Somerset, and they've got nearly double the household income. Do you really think? Yet they have seen, without these glasses on, the fact that they need housing. I guess Somerset, with its financial position, its poverty rate, must see a different scenario, because they're building more housing than we are.
Right.
Paul Coogan does not want affordable housing, never did want it, because his handler, Kenny Fiola, has gone and said it. This is the guy who told somebody, shut up. You live in public housing. You don't get to talk about housing. Shut up. You want to talk about housing? Go buy a house. You like what they're doing in New Bedford? Move to New Bedford. Now I guess you can say, you like what they're doing in Somerset?
Move to Somerset. Well, what's interesting is, he put all of this together in a national housing crisis, which there is a national housing crisis, okay?
And
but
especially in Massachusetts.
Especially in Massachusetts. And what he's saying is we're looking to create a new facility with single room occupancy and supportive services for some residents. We're starting a new initiative called the Moving On program with Fall River Housing Authority, which will help those living in public housing transition out. In other words, get out.
Yeah, that's code for that. So we're going to create a flop house,
right,
and then throw them out in the street. The next stop out of the flop house is the street,
right?
Because you're not getting back in public housing.
Exactly.
So that great plan, Paul.
Yeah, and he says this is not only helps the residents improve their quality of life, but it frees up units that are in high demand. Our community development agency, we have worked to expand affordable housing in Fall River. We have created 23 affordable units across the city and have 2 projects in the works that will bring a combined total of 40 more on board. I don't know where those 40 more units are.
But even though if they did, we have worked. That, you call that work?
Right.
Somerset, that's the size of a pea compared to Fall River, has worked on affordable housing more than you have, Paul, in this city. This is a con job to the highest order. This guy, all he does is talk. Oh, trash, just in case you forgot. It's gone now. Today he talked about homelessness. We got a federal grant. Then he talked about money today. Oh, we got to give out these pay raises because we've got to attract really good people. Hit the BS buzzer.
Yep.
The reality is those pay raises go to people who have been ticks in this city for decades. He's not giving out pay raises. We still don't have an auditor.
I know.
We've got a CFO from Warwick.
Who doesn't know much.
And she's not going to stick around long.
No.
We have retention problems in the schools. But he said today at press conference, we need that to attract quality personnel and maintain them. Paul, I'm telling you what, why don't you just show us who you gave the pay raises to, the 10,000. Yeah, you took a department, reorganized it, a department that one individual was supervising 25 people, which isn't a lot of people to supervise, and chopped it into 4 different sections and gave those 4 people $100,000 paychecks. You've given out $19,000 pay raise, $14,000 pay raises, massive pay raises. And you're saying it's to keep up with inflation? Last time I checked, consumer price, they just said is like a little over 6 now, which is high, but the CPI is 6. The inflation rate's around 6 now. It was up around 8. That's way over inflation. And who did they go to? Some of the jobs you created, like for the person that helped you with the Durfee debt override? Like Mark Costa's wife, when first she was a physician, and CJ blew that up because he knows about the nursing laws.
Yep.
So what did they do? They just created a new one.
That's right.
And that's what he does best. And he's talking about spending, and then he talked about a stabilization fund. You know, pretty good with numbers. And I got a pretty good memory. I think that the stabilization rate when Jazel left office was up around 8, between 7 and 8 million, wasn't it?
It was.
So that means we've done nothing with the stabilization. He's done nothing with that. And he's talking about $2.5 million in free cash. What happened to all those unfilled vacancies and their health care premiums and benefits that we got from all these police officers gone, firefighters gone, and another little one. I'm bringing this in. Brought this in just for, see what this says? This is the health care. And these are figures we got at a meeting.
Not like you know anything about healthcare.
Yeah. FY20, fiscal year end. We had a loss ratio of 91.8, which means that we were overfunded. 87 in 21, 92 in 22, and we're running at 84 this year. So at the end of the year, fiscal year 20, which is when he got in, I believe, we got $3,028,489 in excess. Okay? In the following year, and he was the mayor, we got $6,594,031. In fiscal year 22, we got $3,365,219. And this year, only 6 months into the planned year, we are already $3,426,156 over. That's nearly $16 million surplus we've had in the last 4 fiscal years. And we're on track to have a $5 or $6 million surplus in the healthcare.
Where is it?
You know, CJ, that is the question that our city council should be asking. We have gotten $16 million, and remember when Kathy Ann went in front of the council and said we got like $500,000 in our account?
Yep.
They take it and blow it.
Right.
Just like they do with everything else.
Right.
They blow just like all the money they made on these salaries and benefits that they didn't pay to unfilled vacancies. That's why I'm challenging him. If you want to say how great you're handling these funds, because remember, in 91, I still got the front page headline when you said your healthcare system was the healthcare was broke, and we got Ernst & Young down here to have get ready.
Got to swear. He's got to swear.
Forensic audit.
Ooh, he swore.
And we found out you guys had money coming out of your kazoo.
Yep.
And you stole ours. You stole our money, too. And you had to pay us back. And we got 3 free months Blue Cross and an $18 premium reduction for the rest of the year to pay us back, because they didn't even have the money to pay us back. And that was a lot of money in 91, an $18 premium reduction, and we got 3 free months. You expect us to believe these numbers? I'll tell you what. Call Ernst & Young in, and I'll even recommend the guy we had. And bring him in here, have him do a forensic audit, see what kind of toilet you've put us in, using ARPA money, creating structural deficits, and now you get up here and sing this song. I'm sorry, Paul. This is not playing in Peoria or Fall River.
Well, you know, one of the things that got me was how he closed his State of the City address.
Oh, God.
Okay? As you can see, we share many challenges with the rest of the nation, like the rising cost of living and staffing shortages. We also have a number of unique advantages, like an explosion of private interest in housing or industrial space, and a number of transformative infrastructure projects in the works. In between the major projects and trends I spoke about tonight, there are small challenges and victories that I simply do not have time to talk about. Whether it's correcting traffic patterns at Durfee, Atlantis, and Laterno schools, pursuing a revitalization plan in the Pleasant Street area, or continuing to work with developers on the Bank Street Armory and the former police station, both of which have failed tremendously, and Carlos Caesar The president of the Flint Neighborhood Association said nothing has been done on the Pleasant Street project
You
since
want to read
last
those
year.
three back, and I'll make my comment.
Correcting traffic patterns at Durfee
And who
Lin-
created the traffic pattern problem?
Right.
Paul Coogan.
Correct.
And it's still not corrected.
Exactly.
Because he's got 2 lanes to make a right, not the middle lane saying you can go straight or to right.
Right.
You can drive up there at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the traffic going down President Avenue is backed up to the Rotary because there's only 1 lane.
Right.
And the middle lane, which is a right turn only lane, nobody's in it. Because there's enough with that 1 right turn lane. And then you get people going up the right turn only lane and cutting people off. There's near accidents. He hasn't done, he created the problem. Okay, next.
Pursuing a revitalization plan in the Pleasant Street area. And as I said,
Nothing's happened.
Nothing's happened for a year.
And the president of the Flint still doesn't know what buildings they're going to knock down.
Exactly.
Here goes Paul again. Paul the promiser. I promise I'm going to reduce your taxes. I promise I'm giving you $6 million back. I promise. But you know what he just promised? We looked at the sewer and water fees are going to go through the ceiling.
That's right.
Yeah, what he said. We need tax relief, but we're gonna get what, over $1 increase?
That's what they're asking for.
Okay, that's what they're
$1.06.
asking for. Are your taxes going down? Remember all the outrage when the last tax bill came out? Wait till next year. And we still got opera money. I mean, this guy is so full of, if BS was bricks, he could build a chimney to the moon. Nothing's been done again. I did this, you did nothing. Traffic patterns, BS. The Flint, you're doing nothing. And what you're gonna do is destroy the Flint. The Flint residents don't want that.
And as a matter of
they
fact,
said it.
as a matter of fact, Carlos went before the city council last night and said that there's 4 businesses in the Flint that are leaving. They're shutting down because they can't exist there, and nobody wants to buy them. So that's 4 more businesses.
Oh, don't
gone.
worry. Our infrastructure. You know what he's talking about? That infrastructure. In case you people don't know, the people that he doesn't even, that through these glasses, he couldn't see you. The regular people. He's talking about the infrastructure, the Duval corridor.
That's right.
The nice fancy benches that we're paying $7 million for. We can't just have regular benches in Fall River for the richie riches. We got to have benches. Maybe they got like massage benches, and then they've got tanning lights they're going to put in for them, so they can sit on the massage bench and get a suntan. And what's the last one?
Continuing to work with developers on the Bank Street Armory and the former police station.
Oh yeah, how long have we been working on those 2 babies, right?
Right.
Right, since since the Civil War, I don't know. Because look, all this stuff is, isn't it amazing that Paul couldn't find a microphone and be transparent about anything? But you notice what he got on there about? A federal grant and homelessness.
Yeah, because
Not about crime, not about drug addiction, not about safe streets. He doesn't care about the streets. He's going to worry about police funding without fixing the police department. The police department's in a total state of disarray. We got all kinds of issues, all kinds of lawsuits, but have they reorganized the police department? No. But this guy, listen, I have seen a lot of BS states of the city, but this one, I mean, I'll tell you what. You tell me one thing Paul has promised that really matters that he's delivered, except to the rich people. And like he said, he mentioned them in his speech, the investors from out of town who don't care about Fall River.
And I love this closing line in the speech. I love my job as mayor. I love the daily challenges. I love the residents, and I love this great city. Doesn't love all the residents, and we know one person that'll say that.
Oh, yeah.
Together, we will continue to work towards what I know is a very bright future for the city of Fall River.
He loved the city so much, the first thing he did when he retired is move out of the city.
Right.
And now he's living in a little tiny starter house that as soon as he's not a politician in Fall River again, he's gonna sell it and bail out.
That's it.
And not be around where he can get lynched for the financial damage he did to this city.
Well, I want to thank you all for watching, and remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. We'll see you on Friday. Have a great day.
I am angry.